Here's a good one.
No pressure.
No pressure. So name not given. Hello, Wool and Pat.
Oh.
I've heard Woolie express interest in previous podcasts to the subject of rage quitters and the psychology that goes into it, so I thought I could try to offer some sort of insight. I am a rage quitter.
Oh man, this is gonna be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, wait. Before we continue, name not given. I'm going to judge you at the end of this no matter what, but I appreciate
Exactly
that this is a genuinely nice, like kind gesture to put yourself out there, and that's cool.
This is a moment of rare introspection into a world that you could never know because they don't think this hard, right? It's id in control driving, and you've had a moment where the id took the backseat for just a second.
The super ego of this gentleman is talking to us
is
right
typing
now.
to us for a brief moment, and I appreciate that. I am a rage quitter, and a pretty bad one at that. And it's not just limited to multiplayer games. If things don't go my way in single-player games, I'll rage quit them too. Stuff like XCOM, I'm save scumming like crazy. I've even pieced out of D&D sessions when combat isn't going my way.
Okay, so what we got somebody who is for real.
Oh, I'm so grateful. The best way I can describe it is two factors that go into it. I have high expectations of myself, and I need things to go well as possible the first time, or I can't accept it. Things must be perfect immediately, or it feels bad. The second that's fight or flight, I always choose flight. When I'm put under any amount of pressure, my immediate response is to want to leave. It doesn't matter if I'm enjoying the thing in question. If problems arise that are beyond a comfortable level of challenge, I want to get out of there. If I'm playing a game and I start losing, I get salty. Wonder why I'm even bothering to convince myself I've been cheated in some way. So I leave and move on to something else where I can get my way. It's not universal, though. If I'm in a good mood, I can roll with the punches. If I'm stressed or annoyed ahead of time, I'll give up faster. I'll try and relate it to you. Do you remember when you were playing Mass Effect 2 and you reloaded the ending because you got screwed over by mechanics you weren't aware existed?
Yes.
It's that feeling, but my threshold for what counts is way, way lower, and it contains a bit of lying to myself.
Okay.
I'm aware it's a massive problem, and I've tried to work on it to little success. The D&D example I gave was a one-off that resulted in my group dragging me over the coals and giving me an ultimatum of sucking it up or getting kicked out. 5 years on, and I've not done it again. The feeling hasn't gone away, but societal expectations seem to help me get over myself. So yes, making fun of these people does work. In private, I still do it. The best solution I've found is to just not play multiplayer games and save scum my 100th hour of Fire Emblem in peace. Hope you enjoyed the clown exhibition.
Okay, so there's a lot going on here. Number one, this is a lot more. This is a lot more personally understandable than I was expecting. I understand every emotion he's describing. I felt every single emotion that he's describing, especially I have to do it right the first time.
It must be perfect immediately.
I have to do it perfectly the first time has resulted in me failing out of things that I wanted to try, because I'll try it and be like, I suck at this, and walk off. That's an anxiety response,
right? Okay, yeah.
So to step that up, shame is the way to deal with this, because shame causes the same anxiety response but stronger. So you get like,
because it's in your head confirmation versus everyone around you actually confirms it. Yeah, they actually hate you.
The other thing is that if you take this to its absolute extreme, This is the mental trap that leads to what's called family annihilation.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that term, Woolie?
No.
Okay, so for people who are not familiar with the term family annihilator, this is what happens when a traditional, upstanding, providing man becomes the centerpiece of his view of his family. And I am the patriarch, and everyone's counting on me to bring home the bacon and provide for them and protect them. And I lose my job. And there is a percentage of people that have this flight anxiety response that is so intense about that failure that it is better for everyone to kill your whole family in their sleep so that they don't find out that their world is coming to an end.
I've always wondered, every time I hear about those stories, or like the mom that swerves the van off the road, like, why do you think that your family are your objects? Like, how do you perceive them as your possessions that you are taking with you? Like, it is a form. Yeah,
like it is a form of my kids look up to me. And now that I have a little baby, man, I understand the feeling of the baby like going, dad, dad, when I come in the door, and how that's the best feeling in the world.
And letting you down is worse.
Of letting them down and ruining their life by their dad is now a fucking loser. You feel that is so destructive that it would be better if they never woke up ever again. And they could just sleep away in blissful ignorance. And then once the deed is done, they come back to the real world for 1 second and go, I just iced out my whole fucking family because I'm a pussy. And then they kill themselves.
Yeah. But the rationale is that you are the center of the universe and everything revolves around you, including other people's existences. Therefore, the flight from that feeling should be a black hole that absorbs all around it.
I want to be really clear. I'm not saying that rage quitting equals the predisposition to family annihilation.
But you're connecting the threads to the same source feeling.
Yeah, so there are little bits and pieces, and all of them have to line up just so to cause a certain situation. But yeah, no, he's describing perfectionist anxiety.
Swerve that spaceship right into the asteroid.
Yeah, and it's the kind of anxiety that would be like, hey, buddy, you want to come play baseball with us? And you're so fucking freaked out that you're going to do a bad job or embarrass yourself playing baseball that the very first strike you just throw the fucking thing down and go, no, it's not for me. It's better for me to say that baseball is cringe and gay and pretend I don't like it
naturally
than to be bad at baseball, because that's embarrassing.
So
instead,
I'm
going to be above baseball because I play real games, or whatever it happens to be.
I mean, to be fair, baseball is boring.
Baseball fucking is awesome to play.
And it is.
That's the tragedy of baseball and golf is they fucking rule.
Golf
to play.
rules to play. Yes,
it sucks to watch.
And to and to be fair, baseball is cringe and gay.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
No, cheating in baseball is lame as fuck. No, but the actual fascinating part, is because when you talk about instant perfection, right, and needing to have that feeling be immediately like no resistance, I want a smooth ride right away. Like, I think about how I immediately get rocked by something and then I'm like, ooh, shit, I want to learn. Game over. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Okay, let's go. What do I got to change this time, right? And when I'm LPing and stuff, like, I'll talk out loud. You'll hear me literally going into Radon being like, sidestep left, he's going to swing twice, back it up, right? And like I'm just slightly adjusting, and that's how I do everything. I found fun in that through, the hobbies and stuff that I've picked and all that. But I remember when we used to talk about this going back way when, where I have almost never. There is nothing in my life I can think of except one thing where I've started it and been incredible at it immediately right away, crushed it, and then it felt amazing, and then I'm like, oh, I'm great at that. Like almost everything has been fucking eating shit first. I feel like
that makes a good attitude.
But there was the one thing I remember was I skipped grade 1. And I skipped grade 1, and as a kid who skipped grade 1, oh wow, you're so smart. Oh, you're so smart. You're thinking ahead of the average. You should be you that's a good trend. You should be on track to go really far and do a whole lot. Oh, I guess I am smart. Yeah. And you think of that study you learn about where you're like, oh, when you praise
effort versus values,
right? You praise someone for being smart. You're so smart, and then you reach something that's actually a challenge, and guess what? You're not so smart anymore. There's a million kids that are way smarter than you, and you don't instinctually have the answers right away. You meet some resistance and you fucking quit, because guess what? You have to work for it for the first time versus praising someone for hard work where they go, I'm going to stick at it and actually try to overcome whatever this wall is.
You're describing the tragedy of the gifted child.
Sure.
That's my life story.
Sure.
Where I went to school, and school up until grade 11 math, school was a joke. Like I was so fucking far ahead the rest of my peers. I'm like, and like, you know, when you're in English class and like Jerry he's like barely like putting his finger on the page to read like Shakespeare or something, and like stumbling over his shit. Mm-hmm. And you're sitting there, oh, man, I'm so fucking
what is
smart
this?
Compared to these fucking these plebs.
And then the shonen power scaling.
And 11 math.
Yeah.
And like, despite the fact that I now know I definitely had the capability to do that, I never learned how to study a goddamn thing in my whole fucking life.
Never had to.
And I fucking failed that multiple times. I had to switch math programs in that school.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had done bad enough, it could have stopped me from graduating high school.
Yep. But you, hey, in the first episode, you were so talented, you overcame the struggle that everyone thought you would never be able to overcome. What's going on now in season 2? Oh, fuck. Actual talented people are showing up.
And so now, even now, I have this thing in my chest where I'm like, well, I should be good at something right away because that's what smart people are. They're good at something right away. And I'm a smart guy, so I should be good at it right away. And if I'm not good at it right away, I guess I'm just terrible and stupid.
So, yeah. And so I ate shit and my face in the dirt on that for a while in multiple things, until you kind of go, oh, this is what, there's actually a benefit to being willing to taking a second, third, fourth, fifth swing at it, right? Getting into art school, in particular, getting into the illustration program, which had a bar where you had to submit an impressive portfolio because they selected, I think year 1, they allowed 35 of 200 applicants, right? So it's like, oh shit, okay, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Oh, I managed to make that cut. That's cool. I guess I ain't so bad after all. I managed to do that one little thing in 3D that time, and I dicked around with Photoshop. What are my peers up to? Oh, they're fucking painters and classical chiaroscuro artists that have been trained from multiple, like it's in like absolute like violin music is happening when they hit the canvas. Oh wow, okay, that's cool. Some of them are already famous. They're coming from families that are known for art, and some of them are getting hired out of the program before it even finishes because their careers can't wait for them to graduate in time. Oh, that's cool. Okay, here's my little fucking. Here's my. It's not Dragon Ball, but it's. He's got spiky hair though. It's insane what you have to face up to and compare yourself with. And this is late in the game.
This mentality can get. In grade 11, there was a girl who joined my grade 11 grade, and she was homeschooled prior. But she had to, finish out a year so she could get a proper high school certificate so she could go on to university. And she she got 100 in everything. Like literally perfect.
Yep.
And also
I know
did
this girl.
The extracurriculars, a bunch of them.
Always.
And she would study in between periods, and she would go home and study, and she would come in early and talk to other people about their study plans. And I remember thinking, well, the only reason she's getting better grades than me is she's studying. That actually means she's stupid. Because I don't need to study. My grades are almost as good.
Wow.
So obviously,
that's incredible justification.
If you have to study, you're basically dumb.
That's crazy. That's
and
a real.
That's the way that I convinced myself.
That's wild. Oh man. Okay. I thought
studying's for dumb people. Oh my god.
See, because I thought you were gonna say there's that girl in our class, like when she did not crush it one report card, still on the honor roll, still fucking first percentile, but when she did not get perfect one time, and absolute devastation and tears, right?
No, she rolled it.
Okay.
What are you gonna be when you grow up? I'm gonna be a doctor. And everyone's like, yeah, she's gonna be a doctor. And that type of person.
And this discussion is also never complete without talking about Tomo Ohira, the first Street Fighter 2 champ back in the day, before people knew about even Daigo or Alex Valle. This was the early years, and he disappeared. But after winning so many tournaments, people were like, where the fuck did he go? He's the greatest. What happened? Right when things were starting to pick up, before the FGC as we know it was getting its the balls rolling, and basically he's like, winning felt like nothing but relief. There was no joy. There was nothing positive. All I felt was relief. Oh, thank God I didn't lose. I won because I'm supposed to. And losing was nonstop agony for weeks. Why would you do that? Why would you opt into that in life?
I don't mean to get too personal, but I have had a long struggle for most of my life that I am getting better at now. I will resent a certain degree of compliment. Like, hey, you did a really good job. And I'm like, I was supposed to do a good job.
Huh.
Like, why would you compliment me for doing the bare minimum, which is excellent?
Huh.
Anything less than excellent is failure.
Ooh, yeah.
And would be embarrassing. Ooh. So why are you telling me that you're proud of me for not being an embarrassing fuck up?
Oh yeah, that's a project you got to work on. That's something to work on.
Yeah, no,
right
that's
there.
been a lifetime thing. That's
yeah.
Like 95% is the average. And then someone correctly says, that's insane. That's not how numbers work. To which I'll reply, that's loser idiot talk.
Second place is first loser.
Yeah.
And
that's what losers tell themselves when they only get 80 on a test because they're too stupid.
And so in conclusion, our dear Ragequitter, we all actually feel things similar to what you're describing, and there's reflections in that, and the insecurities and anxieties in day-to-day life all over the place from top to bottom. But if you don't have the pleasure of eating shit really fucking hard somewhere early on in your life and getting a nice little combo breaker to what you expect your natural abilities to be able to deliver, then yeah, when you're sitting down having fun playing a video game, which is supposed to be a leisurely activity, you can find yourself experiencing this, where if it doesn't go your way immediately, it sucks. And the whole point of games in many cases is that there's a challenge, and that overcoming the challenge is the fun part. That's literally what a lot of games are designed to be. It's a lesson that fucking sucks, but is fantastic for what you eventually get out of it. And now I talk about, I gotta kick the tree, I gotta Rock Lee it, because my instincts are not gonna give me what I need to do when I see something for the first time. I don't grasp it as fast as other people might, but if I get around to it the fifth time through, then okay, cool, I think I get what it wants me to do now. But
yeah, to pair this off, this gentleman or lady, possible, is correct. Shame is the solution. For people trapped in what's called maladaptive reasoning or maladaptive coping, I mean, you can heal yourself and all that shit, but that could take your whole life. What you need to do is create a larger, scarier threat if you don't do it. Like, hey, are you having trouble filling out this paperwork on time because you're getting distracted and it makes you nervous? You need to set up a threat that will burn your house down if you don't finish that shit on time. Because the fear of your house burning down will cause you to file your paperwork.
Yeah, so if you run out of the D&D game like a huge piss baby, everyone's going to call you that for the next couple of years.
And then you'll suffer social ostracization,
right?
Which is terrible.
But when you rage quit out of the game at home on your own, you need to set...
Who's going to judge you?
No one.
Me, Woolie?
So you need to set up some consequences.
He will judge you.
You need...
You know what's a really good example of this? To rage quitter people? If you were even on Discord streaming your matches to your friends, that will help because your friends will be like, "Did you just quit out? You fucking pussy."
Yeah. And so this is what I really appreciate too about this little insight as well is the part where you can take this nugget of data and extrapolate it to other versions of this type of player. So there's the type of player who needs not only everything to go so smoothly that and feel no resistance whatsoever, but they also have to feel like they're stomping on you and taunting you and teabagging you, and they have to feel superior to you and you have to be inferior because their day sucked that much, and it feels good for someone else to be dumber and worse at the game than me.
There is a entire genre of professional content creator who decries sweaty matches in a wide variety of games. But what they're actually complaining about is that their wins that they still get forced them to try.
MMR.
Because forcing them to try means they weren't so far above these people that it's like a joke. Winning isn't enough. Destroying isn't enough. I had to do so without any effort whatsoever.
Yep. I shouldn't have to sweat. Here. Fuck this. Why do I have to try? I came on to stomp.
It's not enough for me to be good. I have to be so good that other people are non-threats. Yeah.
And you know, I love because there's people are you get these clips every now and then of like the person who it's the triple combo, right? You have the teabagging taunter who then proceeds to lose because they were taunting long enough for you to fall on the ground after getting wall splatted. Wake up,
like the best ever.
Wake up, and then while they were taunting, you comboed them, you supered them to death. But before the super finishes, they rage quit. You know, and you're like, oh, it's the 1, 2, 3. Like you're a shitbag on top, and you need everything to go your way, and also I'm out if it doesn't for a second, right? The part where you're like, I deserve that, never even remotely happens to occur. Like, yeah, it's great. It's great.